This video is on applying and using Subsurface in Maya. Let's get to it. Alright, so Subsurface in Maya, let's get to it. So the first thing we're going to do is I just have a normal sphere here, right? I just subdivided it a little bit. All we're going to have to do next is click on the render view just so that we have something to look at here. And also I'll open up the hypershade window over here just so that we can actually assign a custom material. So let's clear this so we don't have anything in the way. Next, we'll go on over to Arnold. First, making sure that we actually have this selected. We can always come back to that later. So Arnold, texture, shader in this case. And we want the AI standard surface. And then we want to click on this and make sure that let's rename it first. We're going to call this SSS underscore SDR. Now, you always want to put an underscore SDR or shader or SHR or something to represent the shaders just so it's easier to select in Maya in general. Alright, so now, and we can also identify it here a little bit easier. So let's select this, right click and drag and say assign material to selection. Alright, and let's just hit this up here. And I want to quickly make sure that we render this instead, just so we're not messing with anything. And sometimes if it doesn't update, you can go on over to render and update full scene. But what we are here for is the SSS. So let's click on the actual node, go on over down to substance, alright, and what we want to do is mess with the settings over here. So firstly, let's bump up the weight all the way, right? So all the way up, and we want to click on the subsurface color. So there's a bunch of settings here. Let's go on over to random walk version 2.0, just so we're kind of on the latest version, right? Using the best, right? And then also under subsurface color, we've got a few presets here. So let's go on over to skin 2, for example. Okay, so now we're working with a few things, and now you immediately notice that, oh yeah, okay, we've got something there, and that does kind of look like skin depending on what you want. But for the most part, not too bad. Okay, and another thing we can do is select the object, right? So just click on that, and we want to go on over here to the actual sphere shape. So I called it a sphere. That's the name of it. We can go on over to Arnold, and if you click on this opaque, right, you'll notice that it's a little bit more see-through now thanks to that. And depending on what you want, like depending on what you're rendering, you might want to keep this on or off. So just remember that depending on what you're doing, what you're rendering. Right, so it will give you a little bit of a different result. So play around with this as well. Now back to the hypershade. What does all of this actually do? So let's go on over to subsurface color, and usually this is the thing that I change for the subsurface color. So I want sort of maybe a little bit more red and bump that up, and immediately you can see that updating, right? And that looks pretty good there. Another thing we have is the radius. Now with the radius, you can change the color on the radius. So let's say like a blue, all right, and you'll immediately notice that affecting that. But I'm just going to undo that. What you want as well to do with this is either make it a really light color or make it a really dark color. Now, if we make it lighter, you'll notice that it gives a little bit more subsurface sort of effect, right? And if we make it darker, you'll see it looks a little bit more solid. And it also does affect the subsurface as well in general. Now, that's kind of what I like to do. So actually change the subsurface color here, and then use the radius to kind of say how much subsurface scattering is kind of going on. So the lighter it is, the more sort of scattering you're going to get, right? And the darker it is, the less you're going to get. So if we just go to black, okay, so a screenshot of that, and then with radius, let's go to white and see what that does. And we'll take a screenshot of that. And now if we have a look at the two, right, you can see the white is clearly giving us that subsurface, that classic subsurface look. And then the black is kind of giving us, well, not really much subsurface, all right? So you definitely want to keep this at a lighter color. Even if you are changing the color on here, you definitely want to keep it a lighter color. And just as a quick side note here, this is actually very important. What people will do sometimes, or a lot of the times, is they will use the radius and the subsurface, sort of the subsurface to represent the base color. So let's say that we had a white base, and maybe for the radius, we'll do something like blue, for example. And now you can see that also gives us the kind of same result, and depending on the scale and the anisotropy, that kind of affects that as well. So you could kind of do the opposite, where you are using the base color as the subsurface color as the base color, and then the radius to kind of represent that. And again, you can experiment with that just to kind of see what you get. So maybe this works for you, which it does for a lot of people, but for me, I kind of leave the subsurface as the actual subsurface color, and then the radius, I'll use that to kind of control how much or how little I want that to be. But again, it's completely experimentational, and it depends on kind of what you want, what you're trying to do. Next up, we've got scale, and scale is going to kind of control the radius. It's going to work in conjunction with the radius. So if we bring this up, as you can imagine, we'll have more subsurface, and have a look at it here. All right, and probably, you know, the radius will start taking over, right? So you probably don't want it too high, but you definitely don't want it too low either. So if we go to like 0.5, for example, right, that's going to bring it down a little bit, and you'll now notice that compared to this and that's 0.5, this is at 1. Okay, so that there is also dependent. So we can kind of start messing around with that. Random walk, again, we've got different versions here. Diffusion is pretty trash, don't use that. Random walk 1 and 2, obviously you want to use the latest version. So yeah, that's really that. Anisotropy is, depending on how high or low you have this, that can also affect what's going on. So let's have a look at this here. So if we bring that into the negative, right, you've got your kind of the darks, right? You'll notice well, it's not really doing too much there. And then if you bring it up into the positives, in the lights, it's really starting to push. So I kind of like to leave this at 0, kind of the default value, right? Just so it's not doing too much in any area, but you can kind of start to balance it depending on where you want it to go, towards the light or towards the darks, just depending on, again, what you want. All right, so that's kind of like the basic, right? And you can add transmission as well, which might help you out. But this is just normal scattering. So I think, yeah, so you've got the weight, which will control how much it is. Usually you want to put this on 1, but if you have a map, which we will deal with in a second, then you've got the subsurface color, which will drive the actual color of it. You've got the radius, depending on how dark or light it is, that will control the subsurface scattering. The scale will work in conjunction with the radius to control how much that is. And again, you can change the radius color, but you usually want this to be a lighter color just to kind of mess around with that. And this doesn't really matter. Usually you can bump this up and pull that down, and that will also kind of help out depending on what you want. All right, so yeah, that is kind of it. So next up, let's actually use maps. All right, so what we have here is an actual person, right? A bit of a caricature and a lot of a caricature. So what we're gonna do is mess with this dude in terms of the SSS. So right now I don't have anything on him for that. So what we're gonna do is go to subsurface. We want to pull that weight up, and we want that color to be something along these lines. And you'll notice it'll be pretty intense. So let's just let that render. Okay, that's quite a lot. Now, you know, you can mess with this and really go over here to skin, right, for example, and that will kind of try to, you know, help us out. Skin 2 was probably a better version, right? It'll try and help us out, and with the subsurface color we could plug in the actual the base color. All right, but what we want to do, or what I want to do anyway, is go on over to the subsurface and then the weight. I'm going to click on this, and I want to actually plug in a map, just to make it a little bit easier so that it can read better and it doesn't mess with everything, because now it's kind of overtaking what we want. So let me do that again. So under weight, we're going to click on that, and we're going to go on over to file, and I'm going to use a map that I made in Substance. All right, here's the file here. We want to click on the file, and then we want to open up the actual file. So in my case, I have the scattering, and it is a UDIM, so I'm going to select the 0, 1. We've got 3 here, but we want to select the first one. So I'm going to double click on that, and I do want to make sure that we're actually using UDIMs, so I'm going to click on that as well. And I'm also going to make sure that our naming, so I'm going to copy that and paste that here, enter. Yeah, we'll leave that out there. That's good enough. So we're going to go on back to this guy. All right, and you will notice that it's a bit wonky. So we want to change this from the entire alpha, right, just to the R. And now it's actually reading the map, and you'll notice that, yep, it's in those areas that I've allocated on the actual map. And so if I click on this and change this to a nice sort of red, I like to pull that up and push this down just to be a little bit darker, all right, because I don't want it to be, usually I'll try a darker sort of color on that, and then here we'll pull this up to a white, depending on what you want. Again, you can mess with that, you can change the scale, and we want random walk version 2.0. So there we have it, and then without subsurface, let me just disconnect this. Yeah, this is what we have here instead. Okay, so we see that, and let me just make this bigger. So we have that versus this. All right, so It is looking a little bit too much on my render here, but obviously we can bring that down with just the substance map, all right, and then also the colors here and the radius, right, all that good stuff. And yes, you can change the radius to a different color, which will definitely help out. Depending on what you want to do, the scale will drive the radius as well. So if you want more, less of that. And again, you've got random walk, which is a better version. And then the anisotropy, just depending on where you want to go, right? So you can really bump things up and kind of experiment with that. So here we have that, and let's just have a look at that blue. Right, yeah, we've got those blue undertones. So it actually doesn't look too bad, but I probably wouldn't use it. So yeah, right. That is pretty much it. So like it if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't. Let me know what you guys thought in the comments. And yeah, that's about it for this one. I'll catch you in the next one.